Welcome to the Love Dog Podcast, soon to be the Dr. Sarah Hensley Show. I am your co-host, Raina Butcher, here with our host, Dr. Sarah Hensley herself, the owner, founder, and CEO of the Love Dog Relationship Coaching Services, also soon to be Dr. Sarah Hensley's Relationship Coaching Services. And you can find her at thelovedog.com or on any social media handle at Dr. Sarah Hensley. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. How about you?
Tired today.
Yeah.
We're still recovering from Coachella, guys.
Yeah. Nothing will teach you that you're not young anymore, like going to Coachella.
Man, yeah. It was, I've thought so much about that trip since we got back and just like, I was like, Sarah was probably like, God, I'm so happy to not be around Raina. All she did the whole time was complain. I was like an old granny the whole time, guys, where I was just like, I have to do this again tomorrow.
High maintenance.
Yeah, no, I am. And I tend to like, if I'm not comfortable, like comfort is king to me at this point in my life. And, it was tough. It was just, it was a heavy energy to be around. But we had some really great experiences, and
I sure did.
At least we can say that we did it.
We did it. And I got to see Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Up close.
Yeah. And personal. Yeah. So today we are going to talk about human bias within relationships specifically.
Yeah. So our brains are not at all objective. We think that we're objective, but we're not. And that can really influence our relationships in a negative way because the brain runs on glucose. If we had to make conscious, deliberate decisions over everything, we would like be in a diabetic coma. We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It takes too much mental energy. So the brain takes a ton of shortcuts all the time. And a lot of times the brain gets it wrong. And that has to do with your attachment style for sure, especially in relationships. But just overall in life, we just do not look at things objectively. Everything is subjective. And like Tony Robbins says, your perception is your reality. Yeah. So perception is everything, regardless of what's really going on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. I mean, even like, it just makes me think again about Coachella, like, because this is another thing I've thought about. Like, if I'd approached the whole trip differently, would I have had a different experience, right? So, because my perception going in was like, oh gosh, this is going to be hard. It's going to be hell. There's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be, And so that was sort of the bias I had walking into it. And, usually your bias will deliver. Like, it'll give you the experience that you think you're going to have.
Right. Absolutely. That is sort of the self-fulfilling prophecy, which it's like you have a belief system. And so then you behave in ways that then give you that outcome, right? So you think, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. So you walk in and you're just like, oh, where can I sit down? Oh, I don't want to be in this crowd. And then you don't really go out and experience the immersive things of Coachella.
Yeah, we should have. I know. In hindsight, like, we were just so exhausted. Like, it was like, I did think about that too. Like, it would have been hard to go earlier and like be there all day. There's just, if you had things to do over again, obviously it's always easier in hindsight to be like, well, I would have done that differently. I would have done that differently. I would have thought I would have approached that differently. Because we could have gone like a little bit earlier and maybe had more experiences.
Like more of the immersive, interactive experiences. And then you're like, oh, I get it. Like this is what's really unique about this festival. Yeah. We just kind of came in and wanted to see the headliners and then went, and then you have to fight the crowd in and then fight the crowd back. So it's kind of an example of the self-fulfilling prophecy where you're like, this is going to be hard. But then we really took the hardest route by going when pretty much everybody goes and then staying for the headliner and then having to take like 2 hours to get out of the festival when we could have done it differently, right? And been like, no, we're going to do the immersive experiences and we're going to make this sort of like an all-day event. We could have had a different outcome. Yeah. So that's a big bias that kind of leads our life. And when you think about it in terms of relationships, our attachment wounds absolutely are a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if we go through the insecure attachment styles, the anxious preoccupied is like, I'm going to be abandoned, right? So what do? They smother people, and then people back away from them. And then they're like, see, I'm abandoned, right? Just total confirmation.
Yeah.
The fearful avoidant is like, I'm going to be betrayed. They see everything their partner does, they hone in on the negative. They are always sort of scanning and hypervigilant for disappointment. So if you're looking for it, you're going to find it. And then they're like, see, I'm betrayed. Yeah. And then they are overly critical with their partner. Their partner backs away from them or gets reactive. And they're like, see, my partner can't love me safely.
Yep.
The dismissive avoidant, they're like, I'm defective. I can't get anything right. So they pull away. And then their partner's like, hey, you're not meeting my needs. And they're like, see, I just can't give you what you need. I'm defective. Yep. So
that's a big one.
It's kind of like, if you don't get that right, and that's really the first capacity building tool of my program, is really working on our attachment filter bias, which it's like, some people call it a wound lens. I call it a filter bias. It's just the filter that we view ourselves, our partner, and our relationship through. And it is going to be confirmed. And so that is why learning to challenge yourself and challenge your thinking and having good metacognition is absolutely everything in terms of first steps of really becoming attachment secure. Yeah. And there's some really awesome scientific paradigms that teach people metacognition. And you have to practice. You have to really focus on mastering your mind and trying to challenge yourself. And speaking of challenging yourself, this brings me to the number 2 bias, which is really, really prevalent in like all areas of life, which is the confirmation bias. And a lot of people have heard of that, which is just the tendency for us to seek out information that confirms our beliefs and reject, push away, not pay attention to information that challenges or disconfirms our belief system. And so we see this in politics all the time. Right. Where you belong on one side of the fence, all your people are over there, whether you're red or you're blue, and there'll be a news article come out, and like if it's from Fox News, the Democrats are going to be like, absolutely not, that's so untrue, it's so twisted. If it comes from CNN, the Republicans will be like, that's not true, it's so twisted, they're so biased. Yep. And, you know, even if there is some bias, and I believe there is from different news networks, at the end of the day, the facts that support your opinion aren't the only facts that exist. Right. And we're just so unwilling, especially when it comes to politics, because politics are tied to values, which are tied to identity. So at the end of the day, politics really influence our identity. And they've done all these studies. And I've mentioned the terror management theory before, where when our values are challenged, it sort of subconsciously brings up death, subconsciously primes us for death, because our values are tied to our legacy that we pass down from generation to generation.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And so that is why I think people's nervous systems just get so worked up about politics, and we are so reluctant to step outside of our echo chamber. And I think this is what's interesting about being a libertarian who doesn't really conform to either side. I mean, I would say there's one side I conform to a little bit more than the other, but still feel really kind of rejected by both sides, is I just want to like facepalm at the end of the day when I see people that are just taking facts, because I like to look at both sides. I like to see, well, what's, and Donald and I will do this, like we'll watch Fox News and then we'll just be like, well, what's CNN saying about it? You know, let's turn it over and let's see. And that doesn't hurt us because we're not tied to either side. Right. So we're just like, okay, well, this is the way they're twisting it on this side.
Educated opinion, I feel.
And this is the way that they're spinning it on that side. Right. And so we realize the truth is likely somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And we really just want to try to focus on that at the end of the day. And people don't love people like me that are on the fence, but honestly, people like me are who you need to convince when it comes to election time.
That's very true.
So, and I think this has been a big problem in politics where people have just pushed the other side so far away, been mean or rude or condescending or whatever. We know it just gets so ugly.
Yeah, and I'd say most people are more libertarian than they realize sometimes.
They so are, because they're like, oh, I think the government is right about this. And I'm like, But also, don't you think the government's like the most corrupt and inefficient agency that exists?
Yes.
Most people would say yes to that question. Do you believe the government is corrupt? Most people would say yes.
Yes.
Do you believe they are inefficient? Most people would say yes.
Yes, I've worked for the federal government. I can absolutely clarify that, yes, they are inefficient.
Yes. So why do you want to give them more money?
I don't know.
Why would we not want to be incentivized by the government to give privately?
Right. Or why do all the things that they just tell you to do? Like, why follow that? I mean, some things you have to, obviously, or you're breaking the law. But, why not fight against it?
Yeah, like why do you? So you want them to have more power? You want them to have more control?
Yeah.
Where are your tax dollars going?
Yeah.
And I think that's one really interesting thing about like what Spencer Pratt is doing right now in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And we connected with his team, and I hope we can get him on the pod.
Yeah, that'd be exciting.
Because mayor elections are not supposed to be partisan, I believe. I know they're not in Kentucky.
Yeah. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Laws are different in every state.
Okay, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But he is all about cleaning things up. So libertarians are very like, there shouldn't be a ton of laws, but the laws that we do have, we need to really enforce them because then there's chaos.
Yeah.
So it's, lots of freedom, but you can't hurt people. You can't hurt people. If you hurt people, then we got to have really strict laws around that. And I think he really just wants to clean up Los Angeles, and he has really gone down the rabbit hole about some of the corruption.
Well, there is a ton. I mean, let's be honest. It's coming to light.
Palisades burning down. Like they just took all that money. Like where did it go? Didn't go to victims.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, this isn't a conspiracy theories episode. This is still about the human bias.
Right, this is still scientific. But I'm really excited about what Spencer Pratt is doing. And I was a big Hills and Laguna Beach
were
fan.
You? See, I never was. I mean, obviously I know who he is, but I never got into that show. One question I have that I find interesting, like in terms of human bias, how do you think it distorts like our memories long term?
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. It does, because research has shown that our memory is not like a camcorder. Mm-hmm. And this is why I would love to have Elizabeth Loftus on. I know we tried to get her on and she was really busy and we couldn't get her on, but she's one of the most famous memory researchers in the field of psychology. She's in California, and it's not like a camcorder. Mm-hmm. And so it is influenced by our experiences. It is influenced by people around us and what they have to say about what happened. And yes, this is our own memories are influenced by our current belief systems.
Yeah, and I'm assuming like this is why in a relationship during conflict, two people can walk away with totally different memories of the situation.
Totally, and I see this all the time. And where people get stuck in conflict is it's a battle of perceptions.
Right.
It's a battle of two realities. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's like nobody is going to go through the same experience as their partner and feel or see or have felt the exact same thing.
Right.
And so you can argue over whose reality is correct all day long because reality is subjective. Mm-hmm. If this episode doesn't teach you anything, let it be the one thing it does teach you is that reality is completely subjective. Yeah. And people's memories don't work in the same way. And we know that partners of dismissive avoidance are always telling me they don't remember what they said. Mm-hmm. They don't remember this happened. They don't remember they promised X. No, they didn't because they were in freeze mode.
Yeah.
So they're not processing anything.
Yeah, no executive functioning.
And then they're saying, you're gaslighting me. And so it's like, gosh, so many couples that I have come through my practice are stuck in that trap.
Yeah, you could see why it would be destructive.
It's so destructive.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people when I teach about conflict resolution, you are not required to agree with your partner. Yeah. You are not required to say, you know what, your level of sensitivity in this situation is appropriate.
Yeah.
You're also not allowed to be like, you're too sensitive. You have to understand and accept how they are being impacted, that this is the way that they're taking it, and that is their reality, and you're required to accept that and understand it, not agree with it. You can still have your own reality.
Right.
You can think that the thing that you said was not passive-aggressive. Mm-hmm. But if your partner heard it as passive-aggressive, you can argue with them all day long that it wasn't that. Mm. If that's how they heard it, that's what they're sticking with.
Yeah.
So you have to go, okay, well, I really want to do this different for you next time. So what about it felt passive aggressive? Can I choose different language next time that maybe just won't come off that way, even though that wasn't my intention?
Yeah.
And that's how we end up getting somewhere.
Yeah. Accountability, I mean, it comes in play huge there in terms of just taking a step back.
Impact over intention.
Yeah.
The road to hell was paved with good intentions.
That's
My
right.
grandma used to say that. And it's true. Your intention at the end of the day, like if you hit somebody with your car, you may not have meant to hit them, but you still did.
Right.
If they're laying on the ground bleeding, you're not going to be like,
I didn't do that. Sorry.
I think you're just being too sensitive here.
Yeah.
I think that, you're bleeding a lot. I think you're being too sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I didn't mean to hit you, so I don't think I have to deal with this right now.
Right. Figure it out.
Figure it out. No, you're going to deal with the impact. You're going to call 911, hopefully. And then, yes, at the end of the day, eventually you can discuss your intentions. Like, hey, I didn't really mean to hurt you. I hope you know that. But I recognize that I did, and I want to learn kind of why it landed the way it did so I can do it differently next time.
Yeah.
That is how healthy couples work out conflict.
Absolutely.
We don't always agree that things happened the way our partner believes that they happened, and we don't have to agree on that. But that's where people get stuck. So, and then the confirmation bias just makes it all worse because we tend to only focus on the moments of the interaction that confirm our belief. You're betraying me. I'm defective. You're abandoning me. Instead of really being able to objectively look at things as a whole. And so the metacognition tools that I teach will really, the main tool that I teach is focused on trying to challenge ourselves and trying to make our filter a more secure, objective filter, even though we will never be totally objective.
That was going to be my next question.
No, we can't ever be totally objective, but we sure as heck can challenge our beliefs.
Yeah.
And that really does open up your brain to possibilities that you might not always be right.
That's right.
I have couples a lot where there's one partner that is just, they've never been wrong in the entire relationship in some miraculous way.
Right.
Like how you literally have never been wrong. You're telling me in your entire 20 years of marriage,
superhuman.
you have never once been wrong. You've never once done anything wrong to hurt your partner. And I mean, they'll just usually get quiet and their partner's like, yep, nope, never heard accountability. And they are dealing with so much internalized shame.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, every person with insecure attachment has a self-concept partially built upon shame. So it's no wonder that, and shame is so intolerable as an emotion.
It is. And if people would only realize that if you just faced it head on and just said, you know what, I'm just going to fall on the sword here a little bit. It's so freeing.
It is so freeing.
Yes.
It's so freeing because then you're like, oh, and I'm not telling people to fawn and truly like take responsibility for something they genuinely didn't do. But if it's just your perception that you didn't do it, and it's not like this, I went to a strip club, no, I didn't. Like that's that kind of factual.
Yeah.
But something like you were passive aggressive, no, I wasn't. That's based on how the ear heard it. That is very subjective.
Very.
So I think we need to stop using the term gaslighting as much as we do.
Oh, it's definitely overused.
Very much overused. Just like calling everybody a narcissist. Not everybody's a narcissist.
Yeah, really break down gaslighting and what it really is, because I think people do kind of overuse it, and then there's a misconception around it.
Gaslighting is when someone tries to make you believe something that is objectively false or tries to make you not believe something that is objectively true. And so then the word objective is really important there.
All right.
We can't apply it to subjective things like how you said something. We can apply it to objective things. Like, for example, when I caught my first husband cheating and it was the time that made me file for divorce, I read this whole long message from his affair partner about their relationship. And she was talking about their relationship. And she said, I love you. And she said, we should stop this relationship maybe and you should focus on your family. And
right there in black and white.
And when I went upstairs and ripped the CPAP off his face and screamed at him, and we had a light physical altercation, he was like, that's not what you read. I don't know what you think you read, but you didn't read that. That is not what was said. There's no way, because I'm not having an affair. I don't know who that was. I don't know what she said, but you're wrong. So I read it in black and white, and I read it more than once, and I emailed it to myself. I had
Smart.
it. Yeah, I have emailed all the screenshots to myself. And I could go back and reread them, and I'm like, I know exactly what I freaking read.
Right.
Don't, like, I swear to goodness, and I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but for individuals that struggle with the same struggles he had, you could literally catch them in the bed with somebody else and they would still deny it. That you didn't see what you thought you saw.
Yeah, my ex was the same way.
Yeah. So that is gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh, he doesn't remember saying XYZ in a conversation 2 months ago. Maybe he doesn't really remember it.
Right.
Because memory is not like a video recorder. It just doesn't play back.
It's hard. I don't remember stuff all the time.
I know. No, memory has holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
We confabulate. Confabulate means that you fill in the gaps of the holes with something that, is biased towards what you believe.
Mm-hmm. And I think resentment, obviously plays a huge role in your bias too.
Absolutely.
When resentment builds, and again, we all know what resentment is here now, which is based on what you tolerate.
Mm-hmm. Lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
It's your own lack of boundaries. You're mad at yourself.
Yes.
You're mad at yourself because you tolerated it.
Yeah.
You're mad at yourself because you're in the situation. You got yourself in and you don't know how to get yourself out. And you can't face the pain of detachment for whatever reason. There could be a lot of reasons you can't face the pain.
And that's really hard to to face when you're dealing with this bias that you might have towards your partner or anyone. Because when resentment takes over, it's hard to separate the two. It's really hard because you think that this person has wronged you in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. And people always act in alignment with their identity. Mm-hmm. This is a fundamental psychological fact. People will always act in alignment with their identity. And if your partner is a victim, and that is the identity that they want to keep in the relationship, they are always the victim, that means you are always the perpetrator. Yeah. And there is no amount of convincing them or saying things in a different way or whatever that is going to convince them that they are not the victim, because that has become their identity in the relationship.
How do you break identity within your practice? Because that's hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think the first thing that I do is I help people feel really seen and understood. Mm-hmm. And then we gently have to shift perspective and gently enter accountability into the equation.
Yeah.
So it's not
just
a slap in the face.
Over. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a
gradual build.
And it is a very much building a rapport where they know I'm on their side and that I want the best for them. And believing their experiences. And then we gently try to shift perception. And we kind of look at the facts. And then we have to reinforce, and this doesn't make you bad. Because remember, shame says you are bad. And all the insecure styles are dealing with shame in their own way. Yeah. And so, and then it's gently sort of reinforcing that you're not bad. This is just your habit.
Yeah, and these wounds are deep, and they, they form. They formed from years and years and years ago.
And then this isn't your fault. That this is how you've learned to respond. This is just an adaptive response. It doesn't make you bad. It just means that you're not getting the most out of your relationship. It just means that it's causing you more difficulty than it should have to. And then we get people to slowly start to take little bits of accountability, and then they can build up to it. And then when it finally clicks that when you fuck up, pardon my French, you're just like, wow, I fucked up. Yeah. I'm sorry. I love you, and let me figure out how to do it differently. And then we really try to get people to see that conflict is an opportunity to learn how to love your partner better based on what they need, versus always a situation where you're being attacked and you're the victim.
Right.
And it's just, it's all perception at the end of the day, which brings me to two really important human biases. See, there's lots of them.
There are
lots of them. One is the fundamental attribution error, and I see this all the time. When we do something good, we tend to attribute it to internal stable characteristics, like, I got an A on a test. I'm so smart, right? And when other people do something good, we tend to attribute it to the situation. They had an advantage somehow. Well, they got an A on the test. The teacher just likes them better, right?
Interesting.
And the vice versa for when something negative happens. I failed a test. The teacher doesn't like me. So they graded my essay too hard. Well, they got an F on the test. Well, they're dumb.
Yeah.
So in relationships, how does this translate? Okay, well, I didn't text them back. It was because I was overwhelmed and so busy. And I really didn't mean to hurt them by not texting them. I just had a really rough day. And I was just trying to keep my head above water. They didn't text me back. They're unreliable. I can't trust them.
Man.
See how when it comes to us, if it's good, it's personality. If it's bad, it's situation, and vice versa for other people.
It's very destructive.
Very destructive. And we don't realize that we're doing it. And I think this is especially true, I would say, for the fearful avoidant, because everything their partner does, they assume their partner has the worst intention.
Right.
And I even catch myself, Donald and I catch ourselves with each other doing that. We assume that they said something and they must have the worst intention. You meant to hurt me by that.
Right.
And we have to back up and be like, okay, I recognize like you love me and you didn't mean to hurt me. Like that was my perceptions talking.
Or check your tone. You know, I mean, sometimes the FA tone can be a little
spicy.
A little spicy.
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
So Donald was raised with a lot of like passive aggressiveness. Like his mom, she's a funny chick. I think that's why Donald's sense of humor is so hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, his humor is very like passive aggressive, right? And very like witty and just...
Yeah. So even like his confrontation is the same way.
Yeah. His confrontation's kind of the same way. Like there's almost some humor to it.
Yeah.
And like now it's hilarious because he'll say something and it'll come out kind of passive aggressive. He'll be like, I totally didn't mean that. Hold on. Let me back up. Let me redo that. Let me redo it.
Check yourself.
Yeah. He'll like, he catches it immediately now.
Yeah.
Because he knows I don't like it.
Sure.
And we've had to have that conversation. And then I do things that he's just like, there's the look. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. I didn't mean to.
There's the tone.
I didn't mean it. I love you. I love you. I love you. But it's just the quick repair.
Yeah, it's the willingness. It's the willingness to correct.
Yeah, to be like, I totally was looking at that the wrong way. I was taking myself way too seriously in that moment. Hold on. And that's okay. And that's a sign of being a healthy couple, is just taking accountability, correcting it quick, and realizing that doesn't make you a bad person.
No.
Just makes you human. You made a human error.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that grew up, especially with heavy criticism or where the focus was so much more on responsibility and achievement over emotional attunement and how you felt, they struggle, man.
Yeah.
They struggle.
Yeah. Well, and I could see where it could get really hard if you're dealing with a dismissive avoidant who just sort of refuses to take any accountability or refuse to even like talk to you.
Yeah,
right? I know that happens
because
a lot.
then you get the stonewall, and it's because their subconscious is screaming you're defective. You're defective. You're a failure. They found it. They saw it, and you're bad, and you can't be fixed. That's what the subconscious is screaming. But the conscious mind does its best to preserve self-esteem.
Yeah.
So it flips it and throws the shame on the partner. That's what it does. It fights shame first and projects it onto the partner by saying, you're too sensitive. That's not how it went. You know, I don't know why you're mad at this, or you do XYZ that I don't like. Let me take my shame and put it on you so then I don't have to face it.
Guilty.
And then if that doesn't work, especially if a dismissive avoidant is with a fearful avoidant who has that deep need to be understood, and they hold their ground and dig their heels in, no, you really did hurt me, no, it really did happen like this, then they run away.
Yeah.
Fighting it didn't work, so my last resort is to run away and shut down and try to dissociate from it so I don't have to deal with it.
Which is only going to cause the FA to just be like, you come talk to me right now.
Yeah, and then we're in the horrendous FADA trap. Yeah. And I've had a lot of couples lately, now that I'm back to doing individuals and couples work. I see a lot of the FADA. Sure. It's like the number one pattern I see.
Yeah.
2 FAs sometimes. A lot of times people come in thinking they're FADA, and it's really 2 FAs.
Yeah, and one just leans more dismissive.
Yeah, and one just leans more dismissive because the other one's like,
so anxious,
hypercritical.
Yeah.
So fundamental attribution error, but then we have the self-serving bias.
Oh, what's this one?
This is it's the cousin of the fundamental attribution error. It's basically this idea that it's just about self. It's just the idea that when it's whereas the fundamental attribution error is self versus other comparison, this is self versus self comparison. So if I make a mistake, there's a situation that caused me to do it. If I did something good, it's because of who I am. So again, I aced the test. It's because I'm super smart. If I fail a test, it's because teacher didn't like me.
Right.
So it's not a self versus other comparison. It's the self versus self comparison. And self versus self among different circumstances and outcomes. So the self-serving bias just exists. Again, it's really the conscious mind existing to preserve self-esteem.
This is one that I could see becoming more and more prevalent in today's society, just because of the society we live in.
Yes, and social media.
Yes.
Is so huge.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that we saw at Coachella.
Yes.
That was so, I think, being a millennial at Coachella with like all the Gen Z.
It was icky. I'm sorry. It felt very icky and shallow.
There was a lot of ickiness. Now, the people our age, I felt like I vibed with them. Like when
Madonna came out and all the millennial moms started being like,
oh my gosh, Madonna.
Yeah.
Then you found your people.
Right.
You found your people. And there were a lot more millennials in the VIP.
There were.
So it was like the people that,
it's cool.
Yeah, we're cool. We're just going to chill.
We'll stay over here. This is sweet.
I'm not going to lie. We only visited one out of many VIP sections.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't do the whole thing.
The energy just wasn't.
Well, it was the time difference for us. I think we were so jet lagged, like the 3-hour time difference.
And guys, it was
big.
Murphy's Law trip. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong. Like
guys, I cannot even tell you how many things went wrong on this trip. And then I kept being like, "We're speaking life. This is going to turn around," and it did turn around.
It did.
It did turn around. Justin Bieber was fantastic.
I had to leave Sarah though, guys.
She did.
Kind of felt guilty about
you
it.
Abandoned me. I totally told you could.
You did. You were very understanding, which I really appreciate.
I was like, I'm getting up close for Justin Bieber, no matter what. Just so you know, if you're with me, cool. If you're not, I'll see you in the VIP lounge when we're done.
Yeah. And I just, it's so funny because Sabrina Carpenter night when, Sarah was like, I got this. Like, let's get close. And I had like this mild freak out moment.
She ran away from me in Coachella without a meeting place, guys. She literally just turned around and bolted like a scared cat.
You couldn't miss me. Like I was like my lights were like, I had a lit up crown and a lit up jacket, but I don't know. I had this mild freak out moment. And I didn't even think about, and I told Sarah this later, but when I was 19, I went to a music festival in Atlanta and the Counting Crows were playing. And 2 of my girlfriends and me got stuck in not a mosh pit. It wasn't a mosh pit at all. It was just this really, really tight crowd, shoulder to shoulder. One person started to push, which caused another person to start to push. And then everyone was pushing. And before you knew it, you're just like, you're packed in like sardines.
Yeah.
And like, I can even.
There was a few moments like that at Bieber.
Oh, I could.
There was a few moments where like my heart, people started pushing. And like, I told the people around me, see, I'm a music festival pro. My husband has taught me well. I said, if people start pushing, put your arms up like in a goalpost, like flat goalpost position. And I said, keep your arms out like this. They won't push into your elbows.
Yeah, but what happens, I mean, you're talking, and again, like, see, this is where my brain goes now that I'm older. And like, I tend to, you just become more awake, right?
Yeah,
so
you do.
You become more aware of your surroundings. And like, even being up in the VIP pavilion and seeing, you're talking 4 football fields of people.
Yeah. I mean, I was probably 20 rows back from Bieber and 4 from the side.
That's crazy. So you think like people start pushing this way.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. It's like, it's one of my biggest fears is like, I know it may be a little far-fetched, but like being trampled or suffocated to death. So it's like, I was just like, no, I can't. Boo,
yeah,
I'm out. I'm like, I love you, but I'm like mildly freaking out here. And so it's funny because Beaver night, Sarah spent 4 hours by the stage and I just spent 4 hours in VIP. Just like, I took a little nap, I ate some food, like, so it was just really interesting.
There was one point though, 10 minutes, but it was probably 10 minutes before the set was over. He played Yukon and I knew that was at the end of the set, even though he switched out some songs. And I went down for a second. Like I got a wave of heat that it was like a heat wave. I don't know if it was a perimenopausal hot flash, I think maybe, just because we were so close.
Yeah.
And so I had to crouch down and put my head between my legs, and then I dumped my water bottle on me, and then I was fine.
Yeah,
it was just overheating.
If a crowd starts to push and you fall, you protect your head first. You protect your head and your neck first. I mean, because elbows are only going to go so far. If the push
and then you come down, and then you protect your head.
Yeah, you protect your head, and you give yourself like a pocket, right, to breathe. Otherwise, I don't even want to think about it.
Okay,
it's so stressful.
We're straying. Let's wrap it up.
It's a little bias. Again, it might be a bias of fear there for me, just because I had that one experience.
I had a few glimpses, and I was like, "Not today, Satan. Nope, I'm seeing Justin freaking Bieber."
Yeah, and I commend you for that. I mean, you are the true MVP there, because I was just like, "I love you, honey, but I can't do this," and I appreciate you respecting that boundary
for sure.
But anyway, I can openly admit that maybe I went in with a negative bias to Coachella.
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, 100%. Look. It ain't for me, which is fine, but...
Gabby will go with me next time.
Take Gabby.
But the only person that could get me back there is Taylor Swift. Yeah. She's the only one.
Yeah,
if it's not the Biebs or TS, sorry, I don't know. Maybe someday there'll be somebody else.
Elvis is the only person. He'd have to come back from the dead, guys.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, so... But again, I'm still grateful that, that you took me, and that I can say that I did it.
Yeah.
That I experienced it and I did it. So
for sure.
But I wouldn't even do it again for a meal. Not even $1 million.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It's just that
$1 million is a lot of money.
I know. I still maybe for a meal. But like I don't know. I just want to I'm just at a space in my life, I think, where I just want to spend my time with my family and nature. Baking bread, doing like granny shit,
Yeah, we're really tired of life and want
I want to do granny shit.
Yeah,
I want soft living. I only want to be in places where God is fully present. And I don't know if God was present at all in that space. And I
think he was.
Maybe.
I think he was.
Yeah.
I do. I think he had his hand on JB, because it was wild. And there were moments where I was like, oh no, people are starting to push. And once you're in the pit, you can't get out.
No.
You can't get out. You cannot turn. It was hilarious. There's this one guy that was like, I got to pee. He was.
Oh yeah, tell the story about the couple, and then I promise.
Oh my gosh, this was so hilarious. Okay, then we'll wrap it back up. If this is boring, just skip ahead 30 seconds.
Right.
There was this British couple I was standing next to, and they were absolutely hilarious. This was the first time in the United States, and this one guy was like, I have to pee. And literally, we were probably 30 minutes out from Justin Bieber getting on stage, and a lot of people were sitting down. There was no getting out.
Yeah.
And his wife was like, you have to come back. You have to. I'm not missing Justin Bieber without you. You have to come back. And he's like, I'm going to do everything. I was like, there's no way, honey. I said, there's no way. I said, we're 400 or 500 people deep at this point.
Thousands.
Maybe thousands at this point.
I saw it, babe.
Yeah, maybe there was 175,000 people at Coachella.
It was three football fields of people.
Okay, there was no. I was like, you're not getting back in. Mm-mm. So then he's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm going to pee my pants. And I was like, listen, have you never been to a festival before? That's why you get 2 big water bottles with caps.
Yeah, and you're a guy.
You're a dude.
Yeah, you have an advantage.
Put it up your leg. You put it up the short's leg.
Yeah.
And you pee into the bottle.
Yeah.
You don't let anybody see.
Right.
And then you just casually crouch down and you put the lid on it. And then you just stand it right by yourself and make sure you properly dispose of it when you're done. So she goes, hey, honey, you can just pee in a bottle. You can just pee in a bottle. And then people were like, oh, no. I was like, you can say it. She's like, oh, man, I just messed it up, didn't I? It's like, yes, you did. You don't say that.
Right.
And then he's like, so then he pees in the bottle. So, because I can see, I'm right next to him. And he's like, the bottle's filling up, and I'm not done, And so then she's like, give me another one. So she hands him another one. And then he puts it down. And then she had her water bottle next to her. And she picked it up and she took a drink out of it. She thought it was hers. No. And he was like, oh my God, baby, no. That's the one I paid him.
No.
And that's my poorly done British accent. She took a drink of his pee. She took a drink of his pee. And then you could see her face go white, and she just tried to like not acknowledge it and put it down.
Oh no.
And I just acted like I didn't see it. So it wouldn't embarrass her.
Oh man. That's a good story though. I mean, there you go. That's a good story.
Embarrassment. I don't know. The last human bias I want to discuss is the better than average effect.
Oh, okay. Another one.
Yes. Everybody believes they're better than average on everything. you a good driver? Yeah, I'm better than I'm better than most. Mm-hmm. Are you attractive? Well, I mean, maybe not the most attractive person, but better than most. Mm-hmm. Are you funny? Maybe I'm not a comedian, but I'm better than most. I'm funnier than most.
I find this so interesting because it's like, I've always thought that collectively we've had like a self-esteem issue, but based on what you're saying,
no,
people really love themselves more than they realize.
Yeah, but it's layered over it's layered on top of subconscious shame. So it's kind of fake.
Yeah, it's not real true self-confidence.
Yeah, it's like the conscious mind just telling the story and the subconscious mind being like, but it ain't true.
Yeah.
And the subconscious always wins because then that's what comes out in our reactive behavior, in our trauma responses, especially in intimacy. Mm-hmm. So
it's like this defense
moral
mechanism.
of the story is learn metacognition. I would love to help teach you. The smartest people in the world have this skill, and the most successful and happy people in the world have this skill. And we have specific paradigms we use to teach it, and we try to customize it to your specific attachment and your nervous system. So if this was interesting to you, I would love to help you. Because it's just going to make you more resilient and more successful. Because when your own ego and your own pride rule the roost, a lot of times most people can tell, and it shows, and it messes up your life and your relationships and doesn't bring you to the point of success that you could really reach if you were more objective in your life.
Totally agree. And this makes me think of something that one of our new subcontractors said about you yesterday that I've never really thought about. That is so true. I've always described Sarah when I'm talking to people, I've always said, Sarah's this triple threat. She has the education, she has the credibility, with her education and, but she has this real life experience too. But above that, she's an excellent teacher. And, I was talking to the subcontractor yesterday that who he is. And he was like, more than that though, Sarah is a fantastic facilitator. He was like, and that's different than being a good teacher. And I was like, that is so true.
Aw.
I know. And I was like, but it's so true because the way you facilitate your groups, and I've been thinking about this, I was talking to Amy about this actually the other day too. The way you facilitate groups and being able to sit in with you as many times as I have with group, not everybody can do what you do in terms of the facilitation of it. And it's truly a gift. It is truly a gift. Not obviously you have big brain energy, but more than that, the way that you break it down and hold space for people is what sets you apart. It truly is.
Oh, thanks, Fran.
Yeah. So guys, if this is, if that, I think she's the best. I might have a little bias there, obviously.
Yeah, I think you have a little bit of a bias.
I do,
maybe.
But I don't know if I do. Because, okay, I do.
But
I've watched your competitors over the years and have I ever set in on their courses or anything like that? No, but I've gotten enough feedback from people in your community and stuff that maybe have done other programs.
Mm-hmm. Not the same.
Yeah, it just doesn't compare. So, and you don't cuss at people, you don't scream at people,
I don't force people to share beyond what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't allow any shame.
Yeah, the facilitation of your group is really special. And I know we've said it multiple times before, but it's because it's two simple concepts. It's not this massive overload of all these concepts you have to get down.
Right, because the brain wants simplicity and it wants repetition. Mm-hmm. So really practicing the two capacity building tools, that's what is going to change you long-term. And then we have a bunch of short-term sort of scaffolding tools for you to use in real life until you build that capacity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can kind of hold you up and, give you a framework for what is a secure response and how can I execute that better even though I don't have the underlying capacity built yet.
Yeah. It's life-changing. I mean, that's all I can say. It's been life-changing for me. And I know I've talked to enough people at this point where it's been life-changing for them too. So,
speaking of life-changing, this podcast is partially brought to you by the Verified app.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the only app that is going to make cheating impossible. It is a relationship registry, and it is a very dynamic app where you can register your relationship, and you can put some details in there about your partner, and your partner then is in the registry. So if your partner decides to try to be disloyal to you, someone else can go on the registry and see if your partner is linked to anyone else. Mm-hmm. So you can search by photo, you can search by name, by email address, by phone number. And so it really makes it hard for somebody to go out and be a cheater nowadays with the technology that we have. It is the Verified app. It is spelled VERAFIED. So download the Verified app if you're worried that you could be dating somebody that might be trying to date someone else.
That's what I was going to say. I could see where that would just be so beneficial, like if you were still in the dating landscape. Like
Absolutely.
You meet somebody out at a bar and you're like, well.
Or if your partner has had indiscretions in the past and you are having trouble trusting them, absolutely hop on the Verified app and take advantage.
Yeah, and it's not like a got you situation.
Nope, it's not a gotcha situation. It allows people to message you confidentially if your partner has been, out there flirting, and they can sort of say, oh, I just randomly met them, or they were trying to hook up with me, or, it kind of...
Right, it doesn't broadcast it, guys.
It doesn't broadcast it. And if your partner has been searched, your partner might be searched, like my husband might be searched because of my platform, right? Mm-hmm. And people want to know, let me find out about Dr. Sarah's husband.
Yeah.
And then it'll tell you somebody was just searching out of interest, or they were searching because your husband did something bad.
That's really cool. Yeah. So, and obviously, guys, while you're surfing the World Wide Web, nobody says that anymore except for me. Please go check out Dr. Hensley at thelovedog.com and just bear with us as we transition into the rebrand refresh. This podcast, of course, is going to be the Dr. Sarah Hensley Show. And listen, guys, thank you all. Thank you to all of you who have written in about our last episode. We got so much feedback about our last episode when we were like, we're so tired, we want to give up. I had like 6 different messages from people that were like, don't give up. You guys are doing God's work. We love you guys so much. So I just appreciate that. You have no idea.
Thank you to our loyal listeners. And please tell your friends. Share if there's an episode that you find very interesting, share it with everybody you know. Mm-hmm. That helps us out a lot.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you guys. Continue to tune in, like, follow, leave us a comment, reach out to us. We love hearing from you all. And until next time, peace, love, and perspective.